Friends of apples. When I arrived in Kalamazoo, it was October and the war was still on. In a backyard, an old man burned leaves and twigs while a gray-haired woman sat on the porch, her red hands quiet on her lap, watching the smoke rising above the elms, both of them thinking the same thought perhaps, about a tall, grinning boy with his blue eyes and flying hair, who went out to war.
Could he be now, this month when leaves were turning into gold, and the fragrance of carrot apples was in the wind?
It was a cold night when I left my room at the hotel for our usual speaking engagement. I walked a little way. It was same night I met Celestino Fabia. Hi, good evening. What's your name?
I'm Celestino Fabia. I'm just a Filipino farmer.
I've come here to talk to you.
You came all that way on a night like this just to hear me talk?
I've seen no Filipino for so many years now. So when I saw your name in the papers where it says you come for the islands and that you're going to talk, and I come right away. Earlier that night, I had addressed a college crowd, mostly women. It appeared they wanted me to talk about my country. They wanted me to tell them things about it because my country had become a lost country. Everywhere in the land the enemies talked. Over it a great silence hung and their boys were there, unheard from, or they were on their way to some little-known island in the Pacific. Young boys all, hardly men, thinking of harvest moons and the smell of forest fire. In the open forum that followed, the audience wanted to know whether there was much difference between our women and the American women. I tried to answer the questions as best as I could, saying among other things that I did not know that much about American women except that they look friendly, but differences or similarities in inner qualities such as naturally belong to the heart or to the mind. I could not only speak about the vagueness. While I was trying to explain away the fact that it was not easy to make comparisons, a man rose from the rear of the hall, wanting to say something. In the distance, he looked slight and old and very brown. Even before he spoke, I knew that he was, like me.
I am a Filipino. I'm just a Filipino farmer out in the country. I left the Philippines more than 20 years ago and have never been back. Never will perhaps. I want to find out, sir, are you are Filipino women the same like they were 20 years ago?
As he sat down, the hall filled with voices, harsh and intrigued. I weighed my answer carefully. I did not want to tell a lie, yet I did not want to say anything that would seem platitudinous, insincere. But more important than these considerations, it seemed to me that moment as I looked towards my countryman, I must give him an answer that would not make him so unhappy. Surely, all these years, he must have held onto certain ideals, certain beliefs, even illusions peculiar to the exile. First, tell me what our women were like 20 years ago.
Yes, you're too young. 20 years ago, our women were nice. They were modest. They were natural. They wore their hair long. They dressed proper and went for no monkey business. They were natural. They went to church regular and they were faithful. It's the man who ain't.
Now I know what I was going to say. Well, it will interest you to know that our women have changed. But definitely, the change, however, has been on the outside only. Inside here, they are the same as they were 20 years ago. God-fearing, faithful, modest, and nice.
I'm very happy, sir.
After this, everything that was said and done in that hall that night seemed like an anticlimax. And later, as we walked outside, he gave me his name and told me of his farm 30 miles east of the city. We had stopped at the main entrance to the hotel lobby. We had not talked very much on the way. As a matter of fact, we were never alone. Kindly American friends talked to us.
Thank you for this evening, sir. Good night.
Okay, good night.
Let's take a ride.
No, thank you.
You are tired, and I don't want to stay out too late. Yes, you live very far. I got a car. Besides, will you do me a favor, please? I want you to have dinner with my family out in the country. I call for you tomorrow afternoon, then drive you back. Will that be alright?
Of course, I'd love to meet your family.
You will make my wife very happy.
You flatter me.
Honest, he'll be very happy. Ruth is a country girl and hasn't met many Filipinos who younger than I. Cleaner looking. We're just poor farmer folk. You know, and we don't get to town very often. Roger, that's my boy. He goes to school in town. A bus takes him early in the morning and he's back in the afternoon. He's a nice boy.
I bet he is. I've seen the children of some of the boys by their American wives, and the boys are tall, taller than their father, and very good looking. I'm in my home, and he said goodbye, and I waved as he disappeared in the darkness. The next day he came, at about 3 in the afternoon. There was a mild, ineffectual sun shining, and it was not too cold. He was wearing an old brown tweed jacket and wore trousers to match. His shoes were polished, and although the green of his tie seemed faded, a collared shirt hardly accentuated it. He looked younger than he appeared the night before now that he was clean shaven and seemed ready to go to a party. He was grinning as we met.
Oh, Ruth, can't believe it. I'm just bringing you a first-class Filipino.
Oh, go away. Quit kidding. There is no such thing as a first-class Filipino.
What? He like daddy.
What you like, Daddy?
Oh, you will see. I see he's first class.
Like you, Daddy.
No. Your daddy in class.
Oh, but you are Daddy.
So you can see what a nice boy he is. So innocent.
Then Ruth starts gripping about the house. About the house is a mess.
True, it's a mess. It's always a mess. But you don't mind, do you? We're poor folks, you know.
The trip seemed interminable. We passed through narrow lanes and disappeared into thickets, and came out on barren land overgrown with weeds and places. All around were dead leaves and dry earth. In the distance were apple trees. Aren't those apple trees?
Yes, those are apple trees. Do you like apple trees? I got lots of them. I got an apple orchard. I show you.
All the beauty of the afternoon seemed in the distance, on the hills, in the dull of soft sky. Those trees are beautiful on the hills.
Autumn is a lovely season. The trees are getting ready to die, and they show their colors, proud like.
No such thing in our country. The remark seemed unkind. I realized later. I touched him off on a long deserted tangent, but ever there perhaps.